Hello, it's Monday. And this is one of those Mondays where for a minute I was thinking, I don't feel like making a video. But I will. Because I can share what I'm thinking about, not necessarily that it will be anything earth shattering, but okay, here I am. Monday, the 6th of March. What's going on, people? How was your weekend? I had a very good weekend. A very good weekend. Nothing unusual, just a good weekend. Keep things simple and life is good. People are, as you know, always, excuse me, every day somebody passes. Every day somebody passes. So, what I'm doing here is getting these records together to make a comment. Because we lost Wayne Shorter. We lost a bass player from Pulp. Yesterday we hear about Mr. Rossington, one of the last original members of Leonard Skinner, dying. I don't have their records. I used to play Leonard Skinner. In the second band I was ever in, Full Clip. We rocked that damn Leonard Skinner hard. And did we play Freebird? Yes, we did. And did we play it well? Yes, we did. I pride myself in always playing with good musicians. But besides him, someone who rates a little higher for me personally is David Lindley, a multi-stringed player. He was versatile. David Lindley first came to my attention in the band Kaleidoscope, and this is considered their best album. It's my favorite by them. Incredible Kaleidoscope. That's David right there next to my face. Quite the player, and this was an interesting band that blended different traditions of music besides Western in their music. In this good stuff. He passed away. I really like this album too by Kaleidoscope, Side Trips. In particular, the song "Keep Your Mind Open." I consider that a classic psychedelic song. David Lindley on guitar. I got to see him play. Second time I saw Neil Young play. David Lindley's El Rayo X opened the show, and it was great to see him play, and watch him focus on his instrumental prowess. I think he also played in Neil Young's backing band for part of Neil's set too. So I want to mention that. I have a couple more of their albums, but I pulled those and actually listened to those and really enjoyed them. People, thank you very much for your support and your interest. Apparently I'm doing something right. My CD sales continue to increase. Bandcamp Friday was wonderful. I do pay attention, and I was talking to Simon Joyner down at Grapefruit Records this week, and I went down and I bought some records in celebration. So Simon Joyner was the #1 seller for the March Bandcamp Friday in Nebraska. I was at #3 on Saturday, but my new digital release is still selling. So I ended up moving up to #2. Thank you, people. And then the feedback that I'm getting. People are leaving notes, writing that area on Bandcamp where people can leave comments. Wow. Thank you, people. Thank you so much. Update on the project. Recorded, wrapped up. I think I only have two more things to do with Blake. We have 14 tracks for the album. And Blake will be done. And when Cubby gets back from New York, I'll get his guitar tracks. And then we'll wrap this up and we'll get a limited edition CD made. I still don't have the art chosen, but I'm talking to my great nephew, Gabrielle Higgins, the Higgins twins. been watching his art and his painting develop over the years, and he's really good. He's on Instagram, Gabriel Higgins. You can find him like that. But we've worked out a deal, and so I haven't chosen yet. But so that's coming along. Interestingly, though, visiting with people and talking with friends this weekend, I was struck by how many people are in therapy. I was frankly surprised to find out a couple people I know are in therapy. It's not a bad thing. It's interesting to me. It's not a judgment. Please don't misunderstand what I'm commenting about. This is what I'm commenting about, okay? So people I work with in music and just came up in conversation, and whoa, all you guys are seeing a therapist. Why? And I guess the bottom line for me is I feel fortunate that even before my work, learning all the stuff that I had to learn, I was accruing college credit the entire 27 years I worked at Community Alliance. So if I had wanted to turn them in at one point, which I never was interested, I probably could get a master's. But what I'm saying is, you're learning these skills, these techniques, and this information. Well, it's kind of stupid to learn it and not use it and apply it at least to some degree. So what I'm saying is, I use those techniques to keep myself on an even keel. If I need to talk about things or if I need to process things, I do. And I just found it interesting that people find the need. Why do you have to pay someone to talk to them? And I know what people have said to me, that the therapist does this, the therapist does that. Cool. But you could do it yourself, or you could bump up your interactions with your friends and stop just, regurgitating bullshit like most people do in relationships, talk about nothing or just something on TV or the sports. But have meaningful conversations, about yourself, your life, things that are inside of you, things that you're carrying. A lot of stuff, it seems like it's stuff that people need to process and they're holding on to for some reason. Just process it. I have friends who will get to certain points in the conversation, they'll say, oh, I don't want to be reminded of that. And then it's like, well, that's why it's such a problem. It's like you're avoiding it. If you just work through it, confront it and work through it and then make a decision, it won't have such negative power over you. So that's what I'm kind of thinking about this morning. I was thinking about yesterday, too, after a couple of conversations with different people in different situations. I was out and about this weekend a little bit. I did buy some records to celebrate how much I made on Bandcamp Friday. I said, damn, people, wow, thank you. So that's how the therapy issue came up a couple different times, The other thing I'll say is that I'm not a therapist, but I understand the definition of the word. Look it up. There's different ways that it's defined, but the bottom line definition of therapy is helpful interaction. It can be within oneself. One can be one's own therapist, if you have enough insight. So anyway, besides that, I celebrated. I went down and bought me some vinyl. Seems like I had another thing to say about the therapy issue, but it kind of floated away. You get the gist of what I'm saying. People do what they need to do, and it's good that you seek help. And if therapy is helpful, that's good. But if you've never really thought about looking at what it means, you might be surprised that you might be able to help yourself a lot more than you think you can. And I guess that's the point that I want to make, is I think that people are, and the idea that you have to pay someone to have a meaningful conversation. I don't have to do that. Oh, yeah, that's what I was going to say. I am aware, and it's not on purpose, it's just my nature, that some of my friends get free therapy from me. It's not that that's what I think I'm doing. It's just that that's the nature of our interaction, which is we're talking about real things, real issues, real feedback, and it's helpful. People tell me all the time, yeah, I really need to talk about that. I need to know. I need to get some perspective. So with that in mind, that's why I have this very solid boundary about social media, where on Messenger, people regularly get a hold of me and send me messages and stuff and try to draw me into conversations. I'm not going to do it because I explained before, in the early days of social media, I did. And I couldn't get, it was hard to get the person to, okay, stop, I'm done. Okay, that's enough. Now you're dumping on me. I'm not interested in that. And that's one of the things that came up with my one friend. I almost want to say his name because he does admit that our friendship is in many ways, it's therapeutic for him. But he was talking about in his early days of doing therapy, where he realized he was wasting money because all he was doing was going to the therapist and just bitching and moaning. And the therapist would give feedback and tools, suggestions, and all he wanted to do was bitch. And then it dawned on him, I'm wasting my money. So at least now he is actively engaged in what the therapist offers, and has found someone who it appears this therapist is giving him good information to work on. So stop running from the past and stop hiding. Stop all the bullshit. Stop bullshit in your brain, and then you won't need to pay money to talk to someone. That blows me away. Okay, that's enough. Yeah, leave your comments, leave your thoughts. Remember, don't take it personally like I'm judging somebody. I'm sharing my thoughts. Can you handle that? I mean, my God, people are in therapy because someone has an opinion about them. What? Come on, folks. Get a clue. You don't have to let people's thoughts run your brain. People do it all the time. I'm not having it. Silent Feet, Everhart Weber and Colors, Silent Feet. So this came up because while we were doing, while I was recording Blake yesterday, I had pulled a recent ECM record. I forget what it was, but it still had that old ECM catalog in it. And while he's recording, I was doing some doodling. And then also while I was kind of passing time after that, I decided to look and check off all the ECM titles on this catalog that I have. I have just about every album in this catalog on vinyl. I don't know how old this particular catalog is, but ECM is a great label. I was frankly surprised when of the titles that I don't have. Oh, I thought I had that. And there's one by Pat Metheny, Watercolors. It's like, I know I owned it. I've never sold a Pat Metheny album that I remember, but I can't find it. But anyway, play this all the way through. If you don't know bassist Everhart Weber's playing and his style of writing, this is wonderful. That's all you gotta say about it. It's just wonderful. It's got Charlie Mariano on here. Geez, this is killer. John Marshall from Soft Machine on drums. Rainer Brunninghaus, who was originally in the band Eilif. Wonderful. I think it's Arthur that sends this stuff to me. There's no notes, but I got an album in the mail from England yesterday. Something that I was planning to buy, but hadn't gotten it yet. Micaiah McCraven's In These Times. This is fantastic. Arthur, thank you if that's you who sent this. I had to unbend it. Man, you know, the post office don't give a shit about your packages. This is all bent up. Thankfully, it wasn't broken. I was able to straighten it out without cracking it too bad, the cover. This is beautiful. I have 2 of his other albums. What it says is, time-refined songbook of polytemporal compositions collapsing past, present, and future into bold and manifold arrangements of progressive music. That's a very good way to put this. It's instrumental, it's funky, but it's beautiful. A lot of strings on here. I love it. Micaiah McCraven, In These Times. This is some good shit. Very good shit. Thank you. Thank you for sending that to me. So, went down to Grapefruit because in there, they don't do regular updates on Instagram like Homage does. That's how Homage does their used drops and new records on a regular basis. But Grapefruit doesn't, but they did an used update, and this was in it. I used to have an original, I'm sorry I sold it, Chrome, Red Exposure. So I called them in the next day because I didn't see it right away. I said, called the next day. Was that Chrome still down there? They said, yeah. They don't hold. Homers will hold records for 2 days. They said, if you're coming now, we'll pull it. I said, I'm coming now. Thank you, Simon, and thank you, Mike, down at Grapefruit. Oh, that's the other thing. Yeah, Mike Simon Jr. is number 1. Did I say that on Bandcamp sales? And I share that with him because he don't care. You know, really, it don't mean nothing. It's just, it's fun. I'm enjoying it personally, so I talk about it. But this is a reissue on Cleopatra on red vinyl. It's another example of where, and we all do this, sometimes it's time to just make room, or it's time to clear things out, and you'll sell things, then time passes and you'll wish you had kept it. And this is one of those records I wish I'd kept. I like this. And as I've said before, I've opened for Chrome. Damon Edge was passed away already. But Helios Creed, I've opened for Helios Creed's Chrome. We're still friends. That man's, bless him, but he's a real artist. He's eccentric. Helios Creed, Adrian is eccentric. Of course, I expected this to see more titles in the stores because of Wayne Shorter's passing. So I grabbed this one because I never owned this one. Adam's Apple, and right there you see who's on this. This is lovely because Wayne Shorter has never repeated himself. He has a style, but the way that he writes and the choice of material that he's worked with over the years, always evolving. So all these Blue Note albums are unique. They don't sound the same. It doesn't sound like, oh, this is another Blue Note album. No, it's fresh, really good. This was down there, and I thought to myself, this is interesting. I got to get this. A title by Gruppo di Improvvisazione Nuova Consonanza that I had never seen before. Eroina, apparently about heroin. And if you didn't know, Ennio Morricone, the master of soundtracks, was in this group. So this was recorded back in the 70s, 71 I think. But this is a new edition. This is unexpectedly good. It's even jazzy. Actually involves rhythm and beats. And I didn't know it was going to be on clear vinyl because there was no indication. There was no sticker. Doesn't matter, but it was nice. It's nice, and you open. Oh, this is really good. I love improvisation and working with sound and people who know how to work with sound. That's wonderful. I got 2 more. I was finally in a position. Oh, 3 more. 3 more. See, I celebrated because, like I said, I did well. Thank you, people. Wow. Thank you, Stephanie. If you're watching, this is just. It's moving. It's it's working, and I encourage you, if that's what you want to do with your art, get it out there, and just it'll take a life of its own. I think people are really listening to me now more than ever. I love that. So I got three more. Talking more than I thought I would. So I collect the BYG Actual series label that came out of France. Giorgio Gamelski has something to do with this. The guy that managed the Yardbirds and was involved with the origins of Gong. So there's about 5 titles left of this series that I don't have, and this was one of them. And the reason why it took me forever to get this is because when I would see the Sonny Murray albums, there's like 2 of them. I'd always get mixed up. 3 of them. Which one do I have? Which one? And thankfully my Discogs app was working yesterday, so I was able to look this up. This is the one I didn't have. So I added this to my BYG collection. Sonny Murray, unique jazz drummer. Very unique jazz drummer. Grabbed this, hadn't seen it. Knew I already had the material on it, but this stuff is fun to have as a collector. Soft Machine Wonderland. This is old stuff. It's all out before. Early stuff, going back as far as when Kevin Ayers was in the band. This stuff is all available on Soft Machine Turns On, and there's an album called Facelift, another one. But I like the cover, and it's also a colored edition, so that was fun too. A nice, bright, and then you look through it, it's kind of marbly. So that's fun. I love Soft Machine, and listening to this stuff is a trip down memory lane. It is. It's pure nostalgia. But it was a wonderful gift to myself, celebrating, like I said, doing well on Bandcamp again. Very happy about that. I hope that some of you other folks on Bandcamp, like Michael P. Dawson, I hadn't mentioned in a while, hope things are better for you. I'm seeing people showing your records. I see where you're getting played on the radio and podcasts now, Michael. Wonderful. So this was down there the last time that I went to Grapefruit, and it was still there. And I thought to myself, it's still there. I'm going to grab it. Pat Metheny's Zero Tolerance for Silence. This came out in the 90s when he was assigned to Geffen, but it's his... They compare it to Lou Reed's Metal Machine music. It's just him on solo guitar, and it starts off really loud, scratchy, feedbacky, and at first it's like, that's not Pat Metheny. And he keeps playing, and it starts to evolve what he's doing. And it's like, wow, that's Pat Metheny. This is really cool. This is a limited edition, first time on vinyl. 330 copies. I got another 3. I guess I got it before the going was gone. It was good. This is cool. Zero Tolerance for Silence by Pat Metheny. Okay, folks. So yeah, share your thoughts with me. As always, I encourage you to be kind, because again, when you leave unkind or unnecessarily critical comments, you're just showing me your ass. And I'll keep saying that. Some people just don't understand this. The people that really need to understand it are the ones who always want to push back. You don't understand things I'm saying here. I'm speaking very clearly, maturely, and when I do express emotion, it's justified. I'm human. The people who don't understand that take it wrong. Okay, so that's why you folks get mad when you say some really foolish things. I just delete it. It don't bother me. It's just like, damn, why are people so fucking stupid? Okay, so back on the positive tip. People that are trying to get it together or be together. I'm glad you're in my life. Share your thoughts with me, people. Like I said, you say something knob-headed, I just delete it. Yeah, it doesn't bother me. I'll continue this, okay?